Hey everybody, hi friends, my name is Allie K. Campbell, K as in kittens, inspired by kittens. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about getting real, having fun, and living sober. I'm a neurodivergent, ADHD, queer person. If you like the intersectionality of those topics, or if you're into one or some or whatever, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You can expect content every Sunday or every once in a while. I just moved out of my old place. I'm in my new place, which is why I look like I'm in a insane asylum. Today's video, I will be. It's another reaction video is what I'm trying to say. God, everything's beige. It's draining me. Oh, I can't take it. There's gotta be something. This is the real me. I'm a f***ing bridge troll. All right, that's a little bit more contrast. It's a little better. Today, I will be reacting to some of the what I find to be the most relatable TikToks that have to do with ADHD or neurodivergence. I have a feeling that this YouTube video is going to be just one big relatable ADHD piece of content because your girl is struggling. Yeah, she is having a hard time. Anyway, let's get started. So finding what I think is like the most relatable TikTok ADHD content was actually a very easy process because as you might know, TikTok pretty much curates the For You page for you. So most of the content that I get like sent on my For You page from TikTok has to do with ADHD or being neurodivergent or being sober or being a Libra. I don't know how the powers that be know, but they know. But to be clear, as you guys know, I love a good disclaimer. Just because you find any or all, well maybe all, but some, whatever, any amount of the following ADHD related content relatable, not an equivalent for a diagnosis. You know, just do your due diligence in assessing whether or not you want to seek out a diagnosis or, more importantly, treatment for ADHD based on more than just relating to TikToks. A lot of the symptoms, I don't really like that term, or the characteristics or the qualities of ADHD or neurodiversity. I don't even know if that's the correct term. They're like across the board for a lot of other conditions as well. If you can relate to a lot of these symptoms or like the more like negative aspects or there's like the consequences, characteristics of ADHD and they're significantly affecting your life in a negative way, consistent way, in a frequent way, then that's like when you should really, maybe consider going to whatever the next right step is for you. Doctors, diagnoses aren't the only path. It was the path I took, but then again, I got diagnosed at a very young age, like as a child. Okay, boom, here we go. Don't forget to support this channel. You can find the links in the description of this video.
You either have ADHD or you are a Gemini. Oh my gosh, how did you know?
Let's unpack this real quick. 1, 2, I lost my third drink, but it's probably in the other room. I pretty much always have, at the very least, 2 drinks going at once, and I always thought it was like I'm a former alcoholic type thing. Nah, it's probably an ADHD thing. It maybe gives me like some kind of dopamine, and I'm a Gemini rising. So, this is super relatable for me. I don't know about y'all. Also, his hair is cool. Here we go. Here's the next one.
Woke up today and I chose honesty, and somebody needs to hear this today. Procrastination is not laziness, it is overwhelm. Lack of motivation is not laziness, it is overwhelm. Stop calling people lazy and understand why they're overwhelmed. You're either overwhelmed in your physical body, your physical space, or your noggin. You are not lazy.
Okay, we gotta watch that one again. She spoke very fast. Let's go one by one.
Procrastination is not laziness.
Procrastination is not laziness. A whole mood. Pretty much my entire life, I've been under the impression that I am lazy, that I'm stupid, that I am broken, because I do things like certain maladaptive behaviors like procrastination, and I almost always attribute it to this sense of laziness or this lack of discipline. I'm just realizing probably within the past like 2 years, when I've really like leaned into my ADHD diagnosis, that that's not the case.
Lack of motivation is not laziness, it is overwhelm. Stop calling people lazy and understand why they're overwhelmed.
Lack of motivation is not laziness, it's overwhelm. Bro, my entire life I have felt overwhelmed by huge things, by little things, by things that are somewhere in the middle.
You're either overwhelmed in your physical body, your physical space, or your noggin. You are not lazy.
You're either overwhelmed in your physical body, physical space. Oh yeah, I can totally be overwhelmed by my physical space. One, if I'm in an environment that I'm not used to, that I'm not familiar with, extremely overwhelming. Two, if my space is not set up in the way that is like most effective for me, like especially now after this move, like the fact that I don't have like all the art on the walls, the fact that I don't have like my desk area set up the way that it's going to be for the next however long I'm staying here, the fact that everything doesn't have a place just yet, my physical space is such a major indicator of whether or not I'm going to be overwhelmed. It's like, it's a double-edged sword because in one sense, you do have some, or I do have some agency over how I can set up my physical space to like be conducive, to make it easier for me to exist as somebody with ADHD, make it easier for me to function as somebody with ADHD, to get my work done. Like for instance, advocating for myself as somebody who needs to work from home is huge for me. I'm not a great employee when I have to be in the office. It comes down to that immediate overwhelm because of my physical space. There's too many people, there's too many different directions happening at once. It's too fucking hot to even keep that on, honestly. I forgot what I was saying. Overwhelm that leads to procrastination or anxiety or that feeling of metaphorical paralysis, not being able to do something because your brain is not creating the dopamine, which is the chemical that is responsible for motivation, does not make you a lazy person. This guy's good. He has a lot of good content. Oh, paralysis.
I thought you said you had a busy day today. Yeah, I'm in ADHD paralysis. What's that? My brain physically won't let me do anything. What caused it? Sometimes nothing causes it, but today it's because I have a package that's coming at 8 p.m. You can't do anything before that package comes. Yeah, I like to call it my waiting mode. So you're not just being lazy? No, my brain's currently going like 1,000 miles per hour telling me I should be doing things, but can't.
All right. I feel for this kid so much. First of all, ADHD paralysis, I don't know if that's politically correct. I don't think that we're supposed to say paralysis unless we're physically paralyzed. The ADHD version of this metaphorical concept or whatever the heck is totally real. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. There have been times where I've forced myself to do something. I found a way around it. It takes everything in me. Let me tell you about this package that's coming at 8 p.m. It's similar to the appointment, the event, the upcoming obligation, whether it's small, big. Expectations of you are tied to in one way or another. Whether you have a phone call with your client or your boss, you're going to see your significant other, you are taking a walk with your friend on Tuesday afternoon, a package is coming from somewhere that you have to maybe sign for it. The entire day or week is spent in anticipation. And then when the thing happens, there's like no relief, it's just like, oh, okay, well, it's happened. And then you just go on to anticipating the next appointment or package or whatever it is. The closer it gets, the more stuck you or I become, but your brain never stops. You can't do anything other than nothing until this thing happens. I actually don't even know if this is an ADHD TikTok. There was no indication that this had to do with ADHD or that the creator has ADHD, but this is an ADHD mood for sure. It's not only board games, especially board games, because it's too many directions at once. Even when somebody's trying to explain like a new concept to me, I have to ask, can you please put them in bullet points so I can reorganize them in my head in a way that actually makes sense for me? It's like you're speaking a different language, like I don't know what you're saying. And then it's probably frustrating for the person on the other end of the conversation or the person explaining the board game, oh, so you're not listening to me. And it's like, no, there's a huge difference difference between not listening and not comprehending. I'm listening to you, I want to understand what you're saying, but for whatever fucking reason, the comprehension is not there. Something that helps me with that particular characteristic of ADHD is fidget, like having any kind of, like my calm strips are really good for this, like an easily stick-onable little thing. I've shared about this in my other videos, and I've talked about how it is a really good ADHD tool to have, like mess around with physically while you're hearing whatever you're supposed to be like comprehending and taking in is very helpful. I'm gonna turn on more lights.
You tell your beef. He says he's got boyfriend, that I'm scared of him. I ain't fucking vegetarian.
I swear, that hurts my heart. It gives me anxiety.
Beef.
Oh my god, this person, that's me. I have like different types of strategies for cleaning, and sometimes I just let my ADHD freak flag fly. If you see something that's out of place, grab it and go towards the place that it belongs. And if in that journey you see something else that's out of place, it's okay. You can put the first thing down and get the second thing and then put that away first. Like I just let my brain go in the 50,000 different directions. It's not as effective as being more structured, and I end up looking like this. Just like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? A better alternative, like I think, than like not cleaning at all. Honestly, like this song sounded normal to me.
What it's actually like to have ADHD.
Hey, can you grab my hydro flask from over there? Yeah, which one? Oh, the yellow one, not the black one. Thank you. Okay, yellow, not black. 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 Yellow, oh my gosh. Was I saying yellow, not black this whole time, or black, not yellow? I don't know if I actually remember what the color yellow looks like. Maybe I was saying black, yellow, not. Oh my gosh, my entire friendship rides on whether or not I get this decision correct. Oh! I forgot which one you wanted, so I grabbed both. ADHD. ADHD.
I really love this video. I can relate from start to finish. My short-term memory is non-existent. I tend to do that a lot. I'll repeat phrases over and over and over again if I know that I have to remember them or I'm in the middle of doing something. See, now somebody fucking texted me and that screwed me all up. The only thing that I don't quite relate to is having someone that's neurotypical and is as supportive as the supportive neurotypical person in this video.
ADHD. ADHD.
Because I think it's very difficult to find somebody like that. My other ADHD friends totally get it. Can't imagine me doing one of my, like, what my family calls like Allyisms and them being like, oh, it's an ADHD thing. It's more so like, oh, this is a Ally thing. It would be kind of nice for people to recognize that, like, it's not just me. What I will say is that homegirl did exactly what I would have done in the situation. She found a pretty quick solution. She just took both. One of the good qualities I think about it is that I am able to make like smart, quick decisions in times, like silly times like this, but also in like more important scenarios as well. I just like to say that it's not that yellow in here. If I like turned all the lights off, I bet it would be actually less yellow. She has very nice hair. This will only make sense if you have ADHD.
This will only make sense to you if you have ADHD. Part 1.
We hate clutter, but not all clutter.
When someone with ADHD sees clutter, it completely distracts us and derails our train of thought. Unless we put it there. And this is because most people with ADHD have object permanence, which means if we can't see an object, in our minds, it doesn't exist. So while other people's stuff is a complete distraction and we see it as clutter, we see our own as tiny little piles of organized reminders. Leave a comment if this makes sense to you, and be sure to follow for part 2.
Yeah, 100%. You know, even like when like my partner comes over, like if they leave anything out, I'm very much like up in arms about it and like, can you please clean this up? It's not my clutter, it's not my disorganization, and my disorganization has an organization to it. Ooh, look at my arm, looks like it's...
when you told me to go to the pharmacy?
Yes.
They're out of my ADHD medication for 5 days.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be a fun week.
I'm going to my mother's.
Through sickness and in health, motherfucker.
If you've ever dated somebody with ADHD, you know the difference between that person when they're on their medication and when they're off their medication. And if you've dated them for long enough, you also know the amount of shit that can go down in, like, for instance, a 5-day period of being off your meds. You're loose cannon. All right, y'all, that is the video, kind of all over the place, and I probably don't have much capacity to, like, edit it really well, but thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, congratulations. Drop a comment below whether or not you've ever been, like, diagnosed with ADHD. Maybe you're still in the process, who knows? Maybe it's just something that you're just exploring recently. If you can relate to any of these as well, you know, if anything you wanna comment, that's cool too. It's gonna take me 5 to 7 business days to get back to you. So it's been real, it's been distractible, and it's been real distractible. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.